So there's nothing really to hold on to, grab to, unless I hold this. I try to move it. I try to move it. I try to move it. Hello ladies and gents, this is my first ride of the 2017 model of the MT-10. Last year I went out on the standard MT-10, but this is the SP version. The one with fancy suspensions, you can tell by O-leans on the front and these cables and stuff coming out to the top of the forks, and there's adjustments in the back as well, fully electronic. So in the next couple of minutes, let me walk you through the things I've found out about this bike, the likes and the dislikes, and whether this would be the next upgrade for me. If I can skip past the headlights area, that is a chunky, masculine looking naked bike, which I do like. Okay, another thing I've noticed is it's really short, so more compact, you know. It's different sort of machine to what I'm used to. So one of the questions I had was the wind protection for a naked bike. Surprisingly, this one was quite good. No turbulence, smooth air, travelling at 60-70 miles an hour, not a problem. You can get the taller screen, but if I were to get this one, I'd keep it as it is. It's a naked bike, you know, we don't need a tall screen unless you're travelling hundreds of miles a day. But even with a tall screen, it could be quite a hit and miss whether it's going to work for you or for me or not. So keep it as it is. I may have changed my mind about the windscreen, or in fact the whole naked thing. Maybe I'm not a naked man. I just felt the motorway was quite hard. I mean, anything above 80, 85, yeah, it just pushes me back. Definitely not for the long distance. The brakes, some people say they're not as good as the ones on the BMW S1000. The ones they have the Brembo front brakes. But to be honest, it's pretty good when I tried it earlier. Well, the sweet little, I say little engine, that's a 1 litre under the petrol tank between your legs, is derived from the R1 with a cross-plane 4. I'm not quite sure about the noise level. It was doing lots of this ticking, click, 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 click when you start the engine. So it's different to the other kind of inline 4s I've ridden. I mean, I've tried. Is he letting me in or not? Oh shit. What do you want? Oh, he's going that way. What a fucking nightmare, eh? This is the comfort seat, I believe, or unless it comes comfort? Yeah, unless it comes standard on the SP. But it's really comfortable. I much prefer this to my Tracer 900. It's got lots of padding and it's very supportive, and it just feels rather nice. Really good. The seat height, unfortunately, is a slight issue for me. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as tall as the S1000 XR that I rode last week, but it's definitely not a low bike. Not sure about adjustments for the seat. It doesn't look like it is, but it's manageable. It's manageable, but not feet firmly on the floor. I'm 174 centimeters short and extremely short legs, so that's my fault rather than the bike's. It's quite a tall bike for naked. I'm just about to tiptoe and to move it around a parking lot like I just did. It's a bit tricky. This is quite a massive unit for the exhaust. I mean, the rear can, the end can is not massive, but there's a massive collector unit, you know, catalytic converter, whatever it is, under the, between the foot pegs is massive. And as a result, Yamaha doesn't even sell you a center stand to go with this bike. And if you look from this side, let me get down on the floor for you, look how big it is. It's ugly, but God, I know it's doing its job where it is, but not having a center stand just means it's going to be extremely tricky for me, because I haven't got lots of garage space to put the paddock stand. So that means currently I rely on my center stand all the time. They've nicked the rear lights from the Tracer, no doubt about that. Some cost saving, but it works okay. LED indicators front and back, and LED headlights. Not sure how comfortable the pillion will be, but at least, you know, the seat looks well padded. Quick shifter works really well going up, and something that is going to be beneficial for people who ride it hard. Again, for me, it's not a, you know, it's not a highlight. It's nice to have it, but it's not essential. Center stand for me, I'm stressing, for me, is quite important. The mirrors are straight from the Tracer that I'm used to, so it's not brilliant, but it does its job okay. And if you look at the handlebar, it's a lot narrower than what I'm used to, so it's kind of quite nice and nimble. It feels like everything's all together. It's really tight, and when I say tight, that doesn't mean it's very cramped sort of tight, but it's just solid, everything all together, you know. Gives you that feeling of all the controls right near you. There's no looseness or anything like that. So the ride was fantastic. The power was amazing. It's comfortable. It's very agile. So now, right, let's unleash the beast. Display screen to the standard MT-10. When you turn it on, this is what you see. It's that little heartbeat of the zero. And it comes on, you know, full color TFT. The gear shifter, or the gear indicator, rotates around. It's like a dial here. Rev counter, quick shifter there, the clock, fuel gauge. And these are the settings, or the mode settings, that you can dial into. I mean, for the short ride I did earlier, it was returning 36.5 miles per gallon. Well, not impressive, but again, you're not going to buy an MT-10 and hope it's going to return the same amount of miles as your NC750 or something like that. Anyway, display is really clear, and when you rev to the where the power band is, or maybe the most in terms of performance, it does show green and there's different displays. So go through the menu settings, you turn this dial, you can push it in as well. So turn the dial, you can see it's done the number of miles, the trip, temperature and average, so you can go through that, that's not a problem. And to change the riding mode, you use the big switch here. On my bike, this is like a multi-function one that you just need to select what you want to control, but on this one it just goes through the modes A, B, C, D. Now I'm not going to spend all the time talking about the modes, but A is the most, by default I think, A is the most aggressive, and I'll try that one out. It's really, the throttle is kind of on and off, not really for the road, well, and not for the kind of commuting I'll be doing, but you know, fun riding, open road, then why not? Power 1 is the highest setting, you've got traction control 1 is the lowest of the 3 settings, and you have the automatic suspension on the firmer setting. So going down to B mode, you can see the traction control, power, and you can see the power goes down, but you know, there is a really a lot of, you know, in terms of deeper settings you can go on to. I mean, again, power, you know, you can go through this, you know, you can set every single one individually. I mean, I quite like this sort of, you know, gadget, but again, I wouldn't buy the bike just because of this. It has to be a good bike, doesn't matter how much electronic gadgetry is putting on. So that's the dashboard in a nutshell. There's a lot to display. I won't be able to go through this in one short video. So how do I come out of that? No, just turn it off. Aha, and turn it back on again. So yeah, back on again, little heartbeat. Yep, so on the left hand side you've got your headlights, horn, indicator, blah de blah de blah, cruise control. Now, it works quite well. I tried this out earlier, so press the button to activate it. You can see the amber light on the dash, and then you can set using the up and down button. And I'm sure it works only on the higher gears at higher speed, but again, anything to give your right hand a little bit of brake is going to be beneficial. And you can, oh, this is what it is. It's not the push to pass, it's actually changing individual settings. I'm not sure you can do this on the go, because I tried to do it. I mean, that's a thing. I wanted to go onto the A mode from D mode while I was riding. I couldn't do that, so I made a stop, put it on A mode, found it a bit too much for me, tried to reduce it down to D mode. I couldn't do it, so I had to make another stop. So that's a slight negative, if you like. Yeah, you can make some minor changes on the dash about the power, traction, suspension settings, but not the mode. Don't know why. Like a party going on. Change this mode because I couldn't do it on the go. Let's go straight to mode A. Okay, ready? Indicator, first gear, all clear. whoa, wow. The clutch is cable operated, non-adjustable lever. I mean, you can get different levers for this, but it works fine. Plus you've got the quick shifter, so you know, half the work is is cut out for you. So yeah, no complaints there whatsoever. It's easy enough to change gears up and down. I don't know why people say, "Oh, this is a well-balanced bike." Yeah, I don't know if you can come across any bike that's not balanced. I'm showing off now. Showing off. No feet dragging the rear brakes a little bit. Come on, boss! Don't make me fail! I'm trying not to touch that. Oh, you see, I'm not very good at this. So just try to turn the bike on. Same operation as with many new Yamahas, same as mine. I mean, it doesn't sound bad at all. It's just a different kind of noise that it makes on this cross-plane 4 engine. And the exhaust, to be honest, I couldn't hear much while I was riding. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. I don't want to be too loud. Like, I think my bike is a bit too loud on that with the Scorpion slip-on. But again, you know, different people have different opinions, and you can definitely change that to something you fancy. So now, it's summary time. So what do I like? What do I dislike about the Yamaha MT-10 SP? It's a fantastic bike, beautiful engine, works like a monster, and it's definitely packed loads of fun into the riding. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The electronic suspension is worth the money. To be honest, I couldn't tell much difference because, one, I'm not experienced enough. Two, I'm not going to use it on a daily basis in terms of adjusting it. I'm sure it's a nice addition, but it's about £2 more than the standard MT-10, which I thought it was pretty good anyway. The looks is something to get used to. I'm not overly keen on the front look, but I may change. You never know. And seat is comfortable, unless they're gonna ask me to pay £200 extra for that extra comfort seat. Seat height is manageable, and the acceleration, speed, everything is just, there's no doubt it's a great bike. Everybody says it's good. I'm not going to disagree with people, especially, you know, people have more experience. But for me, it's about going from an MT-09 Tracer onto an MT-10. It's kind of quite a natural progression. There's more power, more torque, more of everything, but less clothing. It's naked, less fairing, but again, no issues. Dislikes: no center stand. Some people may think it's a small issue, but again, for me, commuting, chain maintenance, etc., it's gonna be a little bit awkward. And the mirrors are not excellent. They're okay. So there's, apart from that, I can't really fault the bike. It's a naked bike, so you know, the wind issue, whatever, is gonna be expected. But to be fair, it's better than expected. So overall, it's a fun package, and I'd really love it. Yeah, I'd really love to have one. So what do you think? Leave your comment below, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it's about time to hit that button so you can watch more test rides, daily commutes, and a bit of everything in between. And thanks the guys at Power Biking in High Wycombe for lending this bike to me. I did have to sign a form to say if there's a damage, I'm gonna have to pay the first £1,500. So fingers crossed I don't do anything stupid. And ride safe. See you soon. Let's get this thing back to the shop. I'm gonna try mode D. Mode C? Mode B! Yeah, let's give Mode B a go. Or C. Yeah, I'm such a CC, aren't I? Yeah, let's go with C. Oh, see, that changes colour.